Greeting, friends, from wherever you are. To be honest, we are back covering the latest episode of Survivor 46. If you have not watched the episode yet on Eastern Standard Time or whatever time change system we're on now, I have no idea. Welcome. If you haven't seen the episode, tune off and catch this later. But for those folks that do and want to hear all about this, I am joined here with some great guests here tonight. Snyder as my co-host. How are you tonight?
All right.
Snyder was in our draft earlier in the season, so I can't wait to catch up on that and tell you how much I'm beating you by. So best of luck catching up. But Snyder is a LRG connoisseur, has watched a ton of things. Snyder, tell us a little bit about your LRG experience and what it meant to you to play a game.
Well, I played Doubt Live last May, and I was one of the first ones voted out. And my parents were sitting in the audience, and I was honored to be voted out in front of them, but I didn't want to be voted out so early. But it was an honor to play. I made some connections I'm going to have for a long, long time, and it got my online racing league some new followers.
That's awesome. And we're going to post a link to the racing link that Snyder runs in the comments pretty soon. Snyder, as a fellow person voted out early in shows, I understand. I feel your pain. Best of luck next time, right? There's always next time.
Right. Well, there's the race on the 19th that I'm going to be in. It's the season opener for my online racing league, the Maverick Cup Series.
Awesome. And then Bill, almost close to the end. Bill, welcome here tonight. This is like we're doing our regular recaps on a different show, though.
Yeah. It's nice to see you again. It's cool to see you again on a different way, same platform, but things are doing great. Work is insane. Midterms are ending. Finals are right around the corner. Life's crazy, but I'm so happy to be here. And the one constant I have amidst all of the craziness is Survivor. So I'm very excited to be here to talk about it with you both tonight.
And you are repping a very important LRG to both of us. Can you tell us a little about the show that you're here for?
Yeah, I'm here representing Big Brother Hogwarts. Sometimes we call that BBH. We just finished 2 seasons. Season 1 was in Milwaukee. Season 2 was in Nashville. And season 3, which is premiering this July 18th, is going to take place here in the Windy City, Chicago, where 16 new witches and wizards will enter the halls of Hogwarts, compete for House Cup, and find out who amongst them has what it takes to win Big Brother. I love doing it. I love hosting it with you, Dustin, and come watch and see what season 3 is all about.
What I think it's funny, you're very all about the numbers, and you volunteered to be on this podcast for this episode. Did you plan this out, season 3, episode 3?
Maybe. I mean, if you see what the title of season 3 is, it's Big Brother Hogwarts and the Treacherous Triage of Triads or something like that. I keep mixing it up, but it's 3s. There's the 3rd season. All good things come in 3s. This is episode 3 of Survivor 46, which is a even number that a 3 works in somehow. Yeah, so maybe it was the universe putting me on this episode.
Maybe it was meant to be.
Yeah, maybe it was meant
and
to.
3 was the car number of late great Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, well, there we go. And 3 of us here. So
perfect. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Dustin.
All right. So, Bill, quick recap here. What do you think of the season going into this latest episode?
You know, I don't know if I'm going to be stoned, tar and feathered, or rejoiced for what I'm about to say. But going into this season, I was not really excited. I thought that the people were cool and some of the things that they were saying in the promo videos were funny, but I don't know. I really had a hard time letting go of the past couple of seasons. Like I really, really, really have liked the cast on the past couple of seasons, and no one in that like docket jumped out to me as being like, this is who I want to root for. This is kind of like my person. Like in the previous like 10, 15 seasons, there's always been one that I'm like, yes. And this season, I didn't get that vibe from everyone. And even after the first episode, I still kind of wasn't feeling it. It's definitely a grower. It's growing on me, but I mean, new era Survivor, this is a little bit towards the bottom for me.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if it grows on you more. I know you talked about the cast of characters, but since you are the one guest here tonight that's not in our draft pool, you'll be making an MVP pick at the end of the day for Snyder and I's draft, along with 2 other of our podcasters. So to make up for the MVP number 2 spot, anybody watching can post a comment in the channel here, and whoever has the most votes will be awarded our MVP. So anybody watching at home, whoever you think the best player of the episode tonight was, post it in the comments, and I will tally those up at the end of the podcast here. Snyder, what are you thinking about this season so far? Is it as good as we thought the draft was going to be?
Pretty good. I mean, there's one player who stuck out to me, but for a very odd reason. So 44 and 45 have had stellar casts. 46, pretty good. Pretty level playing field, in my opinion. But I'm rooting for Kenzie simply because of her last name. Her last name is Petty, which is the last name of one of the 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champions, Richard Petty, better known as the King.
And we just talked about that. Number 3, was that right?
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt, another 7-time champion.
All right, so let's move into the episode here, folks. Beginning of the episode, Bill, kind of walk us on that journey, if you will.
The beginning of the episode, well, first of all, the beginning of every episode of Survivor is always my favorite because you get that classic walk of shame back from Tribal. People who have things to own up to have to own up to things, and people who have apologies have to make them. So, always like Survivor is the one show where I'm like, the pizza's got to be ordered. The plates have got to be set on the table. Like the lights have to be perfect because as soon as it starts, you're getting that, what happened, guys? And it kicks you right into the start of the episode. It sets the tone for what you're going to watch. And I felt that this episode I thought that the beginning of this episode set the tone completely. I would really categorize tonight's episode with one word: paranoia. People were specific people were paranoid. Yeah, I'm going to go with that word. And the beginning of the episode really, really sets it up for that, right? You still got Banu, who's like the shaken, cowardly dog that's been left out all night in the rain, just like shivering with anxiety after the massive mistake that he made at last week's Tribal, and really starts to rightfully aim the flashlights at Q, Kenzie, and Tiff, who obviously left him out of very critical information, but also sort of refuses in a way to shine the flashlight on himself. And I think he does take accountability for what he's doing, but he's still kind of like blaming it on like, I can't lie, I want to be a good person. I think he's going to have to start to own up to some of these big foot in mouth moments if he wants to be taken seriously, but really focusing in on the here comes Coach Q, telling Banu what he did wrong and like guiding him through the game. And I love like Tiff and Kenzie are kind of just like, dude, what is happening on this island? And it was just like really fun to watch, but also like, come on. So I was excited to see how he was going to take that and how they were going to take him. Actually, I thought that Banu was going to take a lot more heat than he did. I guess he took a lot of heat at Tribal, but I'm surprised they didn't double down on that when they got back.
I don't know why this guy is still here. Like he just is just telling everybody everything and just making everything up at Tribal and just like spilling everything. I think it's a hot mess.
We did get a live Tribal last week.
Yeah,
it was like a semi-live Tribal. Like he tried to make it live and it didn't go well. Tiffany was like, sit down and back in your seat.
Well, I mean, it could have gone better, is how I'm going to put it. But I thought it was a live travel. I mean, it wasn't as good as some of the other live travels I've seen, but it was okay.
Bill, as a debate teacher, what would be some? I know Q coached Banu on what to say. What would you coach Banu what to say at Tribal?
I think with someone like Banu, he is never gonna be unemotional. He leads that with his heart on his sleeve, and that's just who he is as a person. And telling someone that they can't share elements of who they are when they're already quite emotionally vulnerable is really charring, especially in the field of communication. Instead, I'd guide Banu on how to use his emotional ways to communicate in other elements. So I might kind of tell him, you need to speak a little bit more metaphorically. You're being a little bit too literal. You're naming names, you're leaving people out. Instead, channel that emotion into an analogy or a metaphor and make it vague enough where people don't know who you're talking about, but still understand that you have something to say. And I might kind of coach him on like poetic linguistic tones that he could use. And then obviously I'll be able to read in on those tones and cues if I'm the one guiding him through it. So when we make to emerge, I can tell when he's kind of dipping into that communication style because he'll be using the phrases and tones that I guide him in. So it's a way that I'd be able to kind of control him post-merge and rein him in pre-merge.
Very, very good advice. Banu, if you're watching, jump in a time machine and do this episode over
Right?
again.
Metaphors.
Only that was a possibility.
So let's do a quick little update on tribes and where they are. So at the end of the winning episode, like we have our tribe here, but this tribe here is one of my favorites. I know not everybody was a fan last episode we did this recap, but looking at, we're gonna start with the Siga tribe here, and let's share what we think so far about my green tribe.
Well,
Snyder, what's your take here?
Well, I really liked the scene last week, or was it last week with Ben and Charlie?
Did you?
Yeah, that
Bill is
scene where
probably
they
a
put
fan
their
too.
Metallica and Taylor Swift knowledge to the test.
The amount of tags I got in that scene was, I woke up to like so many notifications. I'm like, guys, I get it. This would be me if I was on Survivor. Also, can we talk about that? Because both Taylor Swift and Metallica changed the way that we stream music, arguably for the better. Metallica kind of ending the free downloading of songs, and Taylor Swift really garnering rights and the monetization or whatever of their music.
Monetization.
Yeah. So the fact that it was Metallica who changed streaming history against Taylor Swift who changed streaming history was like so completely meta. And as a Swiftie fan, I really, really loved it.
Well, had I been on that green tribe, I would have put my Beach Boys nod to the test. I'm an avid classic rock drummer and I'm a surfer. I'm involved with a surfing organization in my local area for people with disabilities. And so I would put my nod to the test against them.
Gosh, you ski, you surf. What don't you do, Snyder?
Right?
Rock climb?
Well, I've done it on a cruise ship a few times.
Impressive. So we didn't get much from this tribe. Like, we got one idol search, I want to say. That was the only thing in my recollection that really like happened of like substance. I know we get to see Ben a little bit back from like his journey and whatnot, but what do we think about who found the idol and how was that done here, Snyder?
I don't even remember who found the idol.
It was Gem, I believe.
Because I know there are multiple people searching for the idol together.
Jungle Gem, I believe she goes by now.
I don't remember if any of them found the idol or not.
Yeah, Gem.
It's true. Technically, it was the Beware advantage, but hopefully they'll lose at one point so we can see her. What was interesting?
Did you watch the What's Going to Happen Next Week?
I didn't. I don't think I caught all of it.
I did not.
Mind.
What?
they cut to the green tribe and they're like by the bushes and they're like, we woke up to something crazy. And I think it's the box that stupid Gem didn't rebury when she dug up that she just put into. So they're all going to wake up and find this box and have no fucking idea what it is because she's got to not find out until tribal. It's going to be madness next week because of Gem not putting the box in the same spot. But her and Charlie were looking around a tree and Charlie was looking up and Gem was on the other side and she kind of saw it in the tree and grabbed it and put it in her jeans. And Charlie didn't even know. And I think it's really funny. He found
high up.
Go ahead.
Was it high up in the tree?
No, it was like arm length. Like she just kind of like looked in and saw it and grabbed it. And he was looking high.
They could have been looking all around that tree, everybody on that tribe. And one of them could have grabbed it.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting because I see Gem as kind of like a throwaway character at this point. I don't really have a relationship with her as a viewer. I don't really know what game she's playing. She's kind of annoying in her confessionals. I don't appreciate the sound of her voice. It's just not like pleasing to my ears, which people could say about my voice. That's fine. So to see her with an idol and now being able to kind of like watch, I'm sure, her story get integrated into the overall narrative of the season, I'm excited to see where she goes. But I kind of actually really like this Green Tribe. I think they have the highest mediocrity of an incredibly mediocre season. Yeah, I do think that this Green Tribe has the biggest potential for success. Like I could see a few of them getting into the final five.
You know, I finally got a little bit of Machete here, if you will. She said something like, we are looking for idols, but rather we're looking for things in people's pockets. I don't think she said like bulges, but something to that extent. Like they were looking for pocket clumps was the term she used. So really, it's like looking for idols, but also looking at your other tribe mates wander off and maybe, oh, I see something in their pocket. So I think
maybe it's an idol.
Or just a big rock.
Well, they could always steer you wrong.
Now we all have the beware advantage. Like, are we taking it? Are we not taking it? Bill, you see a beware. You're not taking it?
Not taking it. Every time they grab it, I go, you know why? Because a couple of seasons ago, when Cody had to make a necklace using a bead from everybody's little beads, I don't know how he did that in the hour that he had to do it, but I'd be like, I'm going to get some crazy shit like that I'm not going to be able to pull off, although I might be able to because I'm pretty charismatic and quite charming if I do say so myself. But that's intense. That was an intense task to do. Dig things up, sneak out in the middle of the night, sure. But to collect something from everyone to build your own immunity idol, I would just not have my vote for forever. So because of that episode, I would never grab a Beware idol because I know that if it's something like that, I would be fucked.
I would not grab a Beware advantage because I don't want to lose my vote.
Both of you boys. I'm disappointed in both of you.
No, I just want people to see my parchment art. You remember Eric from season 1626 with the crazy fonts on the parchment? That's what I would do.
Oh, so if you don't have a vote, it would be noticeable. You wouldn't really be able to lie about it.
Yeah.
They don't have Jeff write it? You think by now they would just have Jeff rewrite everything to avoid that?
Well, I mean, somebody else could follow suit. Like we could have two people doing the crazy font.
That's true. And then I guess you could argue that you're rigging votes because he's going in there, but whatever.
But I think there's not much to be said about Green Tribe. So I would.
Of course you would. And you'd probably get the fucking idol in like 5 minutes too.
I would hope so. I want to pull like a Tiffany and be like, I know exactly what this means. So.
And I know what we'd be hearing. Dustin does not count.
Yep.
No, that means you're voting for me, Snyder. No.
No, I'm the host.
Oh, okay. That means Bill voted for me, which I don't put it past him. So. Well, one tribe that didn't get a chance to go to tribal, but kind of, sort of, they did at the end here. Let's bring
Nami.
up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very
Our.
unfortunate, but it was a blessing for me when you look at who I had as draft picks.
Mm-hmm. But still, like I feel very unfortunate for this tribe, and especially Randon too. Like he was just starting to have a connection with Venus and everything. He had,
Yeah.
um, I mean, he didn't have a vote yet. I don't think he unlocked the box because they hadn't lost yet. So very unfortunate for him, but probably good news for Liz, who was seen near the bottom. Snyder, what was your take on this tribe? How this stacks up?
Well, I go back to the Green Tribe. Liz and Mo look like they could be related in some way, shape, or form. People could think they're related because they look so similar.
Do you think they would pull
Also,
that? They
I
pulled that on Big Brother before.
really?
Yeah, like they're like sisters or something like that. And then like mom and son were just on like this last episode or whatever with Sari and Jared.
They were on Big Brother 25, yeah, but
Yeah.
Jared was originally cast, and then Sari was like a surprise addition. Yeah,
But
but
do you think really like Mo and Liz are related?
I don't know. I don't think so. But if they were, that would be insane. Also, a prediction I have: if they both make it to the merge and they really click, Venus and Charlie could be that showmance we're looking for.
That you're looking for some bonus points.
That'll be the third season in a row. The magic of Fiji.
Bill, are you feeling any magic about our Nami tribe here?
This is a very interesting tribe to me. I think Tevin is going to go very far. I think Venus is going to have an underdog story. I could see her kind of being the, what was it, Michaela a couple of seasons ago when Gabler won? Was that her name? Michaela, Mackenzie? Mackenzie. I could see her maybe kind of turning into a Mackenzie in a swing. I don't know.
What place did that person you're referring to get?
She got second and no votes, right?
Cassidy.
And then Cassidy.
Yeah.
Cassidy, and she did get one vote to win from James.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her.
And then she went
did
on
get
to
one
like
vote.
the challenge, so.
Because Gabler, had Gabler won unanimously, he would have played a perfect game. He had no votes against him.
Yeah, that speech was crazy. I mean, as a speech teacher, I was like, fudge, that was a good speech. What I didn't get tonight was Liz. Why did they pick Liz to go on this journey?
I don't know.
That we'll get an explanation there because, like, in the first episode, they were like, "We don't like her." I'm assuming this is the person that's like, "I make $1 million,"
Mm-hmm.
or is that the other one that looks exactly like her?
No, it was Liz.
She volunteered first,
but she seems to calm down a lot. I love Hunter. I'm goo goo gaga over Hunter. Talk about trade of the season. But I really think out of this tribe, I see Hunter going. Like I could see Tevin and Venus making it far, and I can see everybody else kind of getting eliminated.
We know Randon has. I think Soda could be early merge. Kevin, Venus, Hunter could be some point during the merge. I think he'll make the merge. I think he'll make the jury. But Kevin and Venus will make late merge. And somebody said Venus is like a poverty light a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and that's kind of connects back. That could lead to a showman.
There you go. Now, if any of you watching at home or watching at work, as you shouldn't be, but if you think one of these people should be MVP of the night, make sure you put your comment below because we need another MVP here. And I will take anybody at this point. So Bill gets to make one decision, but we have an open spot here. So I have a backup just in case. But we want to see those comments. Just a quick name. That's all we need. So I am excited to see this tribe just decimate. However, I feel if they do, they might get into a merge or like a tribe swap, and people just target them because they have been doing very, very well. I know Snyder just saw the first pick come in.
All right,
from
all right, all right.
our fellow podcaster here. Laura joined me on episode 1. Bill, you know Laura as well. So we'll see if Kenzie stays MVP for you.
Well,
Coming up,
let's
Snyder.
hope so.
Mm-hmm.
That would really help me in the running.
Let's see here. So, thoughts here. So
Yanu.
we go into this this journey like we were talking about with Liz. Do we like this? So I liked the first journey they went on. They had to do that little like bluffing thing, but the fact that they don't get to choose if they lose their vote, they have no real like choice in the matter. You get to draw a rock. I was not a fan of that, dictating like what happened. Bill, your thoughts? You're a challenge person as well.
I hated this. I
Mhm.
loved the risk reward element of it, but I hated that they had no control. I think a simple tweak was they all had to agree to put their hand in the bag. Like there needed to be some element of free will for me to kind of get on board with this, but to be doing really, really well, assuming that I'd be on the game and I'd be doing really well. And then my fate being up to sticking my hand in the bag that I never even had the option of sticking, like not sticking my hand in the bag. I'd be really annoyed about that. But at the same time, when people are making picks on who they're sending to these excursions, they're making picks based on this could be something good or this could be something bad. So maybe someone sees something in you to send you on a journey to want to hurt you or reward you. So like
maybe Liz, they're trying to put a bigger target on her back.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe. So, but I
That's always
definitely
a possibility.
definitely hated that they didn't have a choice.
Yeah, because before
I
they
do
got
not like
to
when they
like,
go to rocks.
yeah, there was no choice in the matter on that, and you're pressed with a challenge that you have no say in, no option. Like, can I choose a physical task over a mental task? At least there was no chance. They were like, you have to do this puzzle. You're probably not going to get it. You're probably going to lose your vote. So I felt it was very unfortunate for Ben and Banu. Like,
But the Dream Teamer, who they showed, or presumably that's a Dream Teamer, they figured it out. I don't know how long it took them, but they figured it out.
Now, just thinking about Banu's disadvantage now. Snyder, you're more of this survivor savant, I think the word is. So does Banu lose his vote at the next tribal? Because technically, they didn't go to tribal.
I don't really know. I think it could carry over, and hopefully there's a tribe swap. I'm kind of hoping there's a tribe swap.
I mean, we're down 3, so that would put them all at teams of 5, which is totally possible.
That would absolutely work out. It could help Banu because there could be a bigger threat on one of the other tribes.
Yeah, typically, we see like a little preview at least, though, and I didn't catch much of the next episode. But Bill, you were mentioning, did you see anything tribe swap wise?
No.
That might not be a good thing.
So I'm curious to see if Banu still has his vote or not, because, like I said, technically speaking, he never went to tribal, which I thought was also weird. Like, they should have just got to tribal and be like, "Hey, yo, you're safe. Stop sweating it."
That would have been kind of interesting. They go to tribal only to find out Brandon was medevac, and then the tribe has spoken, and they grab the tribe and head out.
Just keep them for later. Like, it'd be interesting to read them after the game has ended.
I'm like, just go to tribal and eliminate someone. I mean, like, that sucks that this person got medevaced out, but like, you still lost the challenge. I hate that oh, they are sick, so they leave, so you get to stay. Like, I think that 2 people should go home. Like, it's not his fault that he got medevac, but you lost, and there needs to be a penalty.
So I just like to throw this out there. So I've seen on the Survivor fandom, in the French version of koh if a player is medevaced, the last person who is voted out comes back into the game.
That's worse.
If no such player is available, a completely new contestant known as a Joker enters the game.
Crazy.
Yeah, and what that does is it ensures they don't cancel Tribal Council. The game still goes as planned. They just have different contestants in play. That's a notable difference between U.S. Survivor and Colanta in France, is that they'll bring a player back who's previously eliminated as a result of a medevac.
Laura is ready to get back on this podcast, right? Based on her comments. So,
yeah. Who was the last person voted out? Oh, Jessica. That could have made things interesting.
Hopefully, it would have brought more faith back to this purple tribe. So, speaking of this purple tribe, let's take a look at them and see where they are standing here. Not too well is the answer.
Well, at least it's not going to be a complete oolonging.
Well, almost.
50% of those contestants are on Team Maverick.
Look at you.
Banu and Kenzie.
I still really like this team. I'm sorry to say. Like, I just hope better for them here pretty soon.
I mean, I do think that Kenzie, Q, and Tiffany are the 3 best players in the entire game. It's unfortunate that they're on a team that keeps losing, but also they're a huge part of the team that keeps losing. Like, if you're running the game and you can't...
And it was their fault. Like, had Jelinski been there to hold those breaks up, that would have been a huge help. Just saying. I like Jess, but Jelinski's stature probably would have won them that next challenge.
I mean, yeah. I thought Q had a chance to win them that challenge. I mean, Q has the strength and all.
I mean, they were there like ahead of the other tribe, I want to say, and then Tiffany landed half of them.
Aiming is so hard. It would suck at that tribe. Every time they have to throw the sandbags, I'm like, oh God, we would be there forever if I was the one responsible for doing that.
Yep. Did they kind of take the lead, green at the last second to get immunity?
Essentially, Charlie got it for them.
Yeah, it was like a last lap pass in turn 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why Tiff kept switching out. She was killing it way more than Q was. I don't know why she didn't just stay there. But
well, I think she was having trouble with the highest one. Like, we saw her toss it a few times, and it just wasn't getting there. So
she probably didn't have the stature. That Jelinski, I didn't think he was that tall. I mean, you look at him compared to Q. I thought Q looked more like the kind of player who would be a more intimidating figure.
I always have a soft spot for the purple tribe. I don't know why. Whenever there's a purple tribe, I'm automatically rooting for them. I love this tribe. I'm sure it's part of the edit. You know, when you lose, you get more airtime because you have to show more strategy. So I think we just really know these people. But I do think that they took the wildest personalities and put them all on one tribe. And I know when I listened to the Jeff Probst Fire podcast or whatever, and they talked about casting last season, they like try to put people on a tribe that they think will work well together. Like, I know that there's psychology behind this, but it always seems that one tribe has all of the personalities on it. And to me, it's this purple tribe. You got the paranoid person, you got the athlete, you got the strategic butterfly, you got the delusional guy, you got the quiet
person. Yeah.
Quiet person. You got the like logical one. I mean, like, this tribe had everything that it needed to win, but I think they just can't recognize each other's expertise to showcase themselves in the spots in these competitions that will be able to prioritize the overall common goal. I think they're so focused on their individual games in this tribe that they are having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, where the other two tribes are really looking at the more long-term game, I think. But when you keep losing, your mindset is really only short-term oriented. Like they're just thinking about literally, how do we survive the night? And I think that's what's hurting them.
I think you talk about how like tribes are like placed together. Like we have the same thing too. Like in Big Brother, we're thinking, oh, this house is going to be great together, and then we see them like deconstruct each other. They're like blows up the house, and we're like, oh, we didn't expect that, or we're
It is like complete chaos, probably.
Yeah. But Banu just a few things just rubbed me the wrong way, essentially. Like, I don't know. He was very, of course, he was very glad that Randon got voted out, but like, I don't know, praying and everything. Like, thank you that somebody got hurt so I can go further. And thankfully, Randon didn't get seriously hurt or anything. But I don't.
Yeah, that was a little hard to watch for me.
Props to the medical team for getting his MRI scheduled ASAP.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Way to go, medical team.
I'm curious though, advantage wise, he just left with it. Like it was very abrupt when Jeff made that conversation, just walking in and being like, hey, we're pulling you right now.
Yeah, but the instructions were that you have to go to a tribal and then come back. And Venus is the only one that knew what that note said. So Venus, I'm assuming, could go back and dig up that new scroll or whatever.
If they go to a tribal.
Yeah, if they go to a tribal. And if he told her that, I'm not sure if she actually read the parchment. I can't remember. But that's going to be interesting because is there going to be a clue there no matter what because someone read it, or no, because the person who read it isn't going to that tribal?
Yeah, I guess when I said advantage, like really it was a disadvantage Randon still had with him. So and it sounds like probably something that Venus does know about. So hopefully she will be like, okay, let's go back to the spot, dig it up. But I'm not sure exactly she knows where the spot is.
Well, I think he showed her because I think in the first episode or whatever, he was like had that dilemma about who to trust, and he trusted her. But I don't remember if he showed her where it was or let her read the piece of paper. I don't know how much she knows. But I know she knows that they had to do another task or go to tribal or something.
And I still think Tiffany has some of the best like perspective on the game. Like she gets a little, I wouldn't say frustrated with Q, but just like, why is everybody listening to Q? He's the coach, so on and so forth. She's like, play your own game. Don't listen to this guy who's telling you what to do, which I think is how you should play the game.
Yeah.
Play your own game. Let's see here. So that brings us to tribal and everything, but we don't.
What about the challenge?
Yeah. Snyder, walk us through the challenge.
That was something. And it was a really rocky start, literally, because they were rocking on those waves. They were almost tandem surfing.
You sound like Ben. It's rocking. It's not rolling. It kind of was rolling at one point when they went over, but.
Well, yeah. But then you get to that sandbag part. That is where it got really crazy. They had to dig them up, and then they had to throw them onto the things.
Yeah, I thought that the first third of the competition was really fun and exciting to watch. And then obviously the last third when it was like tied. But I'm like, all right, we're digging. All right, we're tossing. Like, I don't know. I loved the idea of going over that spinny wheel. Now, I need to go back and watch a bunch of seasons. I'm not like a new Survivor fan, but I definitely like my first season was Blood versus Water, and I really haven't seen anything before that. And even after Blood versus Water, I kind of like hopped on and off the Survivor bus. But I've been all on board in the new era. I really love the new era. I'm getting a little bored with some things, but I don't remember this rolling pin in the middle of the ocean that they've had to go over. And if they've done it, how many times have they done it? Because I don't remember seeing it too often.
I think it's
Novel challenges are always great.
So that was really cool. And the fact that Hunter just like beast moded over that thing was wild. Wild.
I mean, he literally builds challenges.
Yeah, that's true. Watching him
I saw a post from our good friend Daniel Staros, the host of Survivor Pennsylvania, and he said his room is a lot like Hunter's with the challenges and all.
Oh my God, Dustin, the entire time Hunter was building the bed and stuff, and everyone was like, he's like the tribe guru. Whatever we need, he makes it. The whole time I'm like, Frank, this was Frank. This was Frank. He built us that basketball hoop. He put our hammock together. I mean, he made a knife and a spatula for our rice. I hope that when he was watching that episode, he was like, this was me for my...
Sounds like a true Slytherin.
Yeah. Oh, but
there is always one. Yeah. There's always one. Like the previous season for that, like Ralph was out there. Like he built that chair that was out there in the woods. Like it was just crazy. There's always like one woodsy person.
But I really liked how they had to go over the rolling pin. I love all of the challenges that involve the ocean. I mean, like you just with gravity and centrifugal force and everything, like it really levels the playing field for a lot of people. And you see a lot of times the athletes will struggle in the water. So I love everything that involves the water, especially like when they have to balance with all the waves. Always makes for an interesting element.
But for an athlete that actually does a water sport like swimming or surfing, that could be a strong suit for them.
Yeah.
All right, now help me out here because I was like half watching the episode, half having to run an escape room. Who sat out in this challenge? I know Brandon and then
Brandon
Maria
sat
did
out for the Nami tribe, and Soda also sat out. So they went to the Sandra bench. And then Siga, I know Mo didn't sit out because she did the challenge last week. That was a requirement. I hate to say it, but I think I may have forgotten who sat out.
Was it Jem?
Might have been.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Well, our draft will be off by just a little point. It's all right. So
maybe it was Maria.
No, I know Maria sat out. I just don't remember who else from Green.
Might have been. Don't think it was Ben. Wasn't Charlie. Wasn't Mo. Pretty sure it wasn't Tim. So might have been Jem.
I'll just put it there for now.
Must have been Jem. I think it was Jem and Maria.
Well, here we're gonna do since we're speaking of the draft right now, just a little recap on our draft list here. So, Bill, here's our standings. What do you think of each? Who's got the best draft? Okay, looking at the colors, top left, you can see myself, Snyder, DB, and Sam. We all picked some individuals.
Oh, Brandon, your pitch needs to be grayed out.
Thank you.
Brandon,
eventually,
tribe
this is like
spoken.
Episode, though, right? Let's see here.
I think that
I mean, Bill, first of all, who are you rooting for? Like, if you got a first draft pick here, even if that person is eliminated, who are you going for?
So I'm trying to like take my biases out, like knowing what I know about everything that we watched, like who was I rooting for in that initial lineup when they got on the beach. I was really rooting for Banu and Charlie because Charlie immediately was like, I'm a Swiftie. So I was like, yes. And Banu just had like the energy that I loved. And I loved Kenzie after that first episode. So going
like you got Snyder's draft right there.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I think that Snyder's draft is the Coca-Cola of draft picks. It's sweet. It's exactly what you would expect. It's commercial. If you're going to pick a draft list, I would probably go with this draft list. It's got everything that you want in all of the different types of Survivor players, but there's nothing novel or unique about it.
I wouldn't necessarily say Kenzie's a Poverty 2.0 because she already has a partner.
Yeah, so like I think that these are going to be great players. I think that these are going to be players who will go down in like the new era history. Like they're memorable, they're easy, they're safe.
Yeah.
I would say that Sam has the most interesting lineup because I feel like Sam's always going to have a stake in the season, but you never know when that stake is going to be uprooted. So I feel like Sam's going to be watching every episode going, like, I think these people are going to be in danger often and are going to have to talk themselves out of getting voted out if they find themselves in tribal kind of later on down the line. But I think Sam's draft pick is going to make for really engaging, strategic views. Like I'm interested to see how these people are playing. Dustin
has the best draft ever. In bill terms, it's like if you go to a restaurant, this is the fancy restaurant. This is like the Red Lobster here, folks. So
Dustin has a draft, and I don't know who DB is. Who's DB?
DB, he goes by DB. He was a random LRG watcher.
Okay.
He actually has met Q a few times on his podcast. He does a lot of podcasts about like sports stuff.
Yeah, he's a sports podcaster. I mean, and that's how I came into LRGs, is by watching them on YouTube. I find this podcast, and it's not a rabbit hole. It's an amazing community, and I am so thankful to be a part of it.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. Let me take it all back and let me kind of compare this to Harry Potter, since that's what I host. All right. Snyder's got the Gryffindors. Sam's got the Slytherins. Dustin's got the Hufflepuffs. And DB's got the Ravenclaws.
And I've always thought I was a Ravenclaw.
I think you are Ravenclaw, but I think you have a very Gryffindor team, buddy. I mean, look at all these people. That's not Gryffindor. Well, I guess Banu is really Hufflepuff, but you got the people.
Yeah, but I've got
Survivor, and then
I've got the big personalities.
Yeah.
And my first pick was for a very odd reason. I said it earlier.
But man, Jelinski, gosh, dang.
No, it wasn't Jelinski. My first pick was Kenzie.
No, she's a great first pick. I'm just saying, I can't believe someone like Jelinski. Like,
I think she has a chance to win it all.
She's got to get out. I don't know though, because I don't think so, because of what Banu said.
Never know. She could be wearing that immunity necklace, and
yeah, but
maybe Yanu will have some luck.
I just think when Banu told those other two everything that he said about TV, and they went back to the tribes, like no one's gonna want to work.
And then he admits it next episode. We see it. He's like, I told them something I shouldn't have.
God. Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
I was nervous. I thought that would be the nail in the coffin for his game, and he'd be getting his torch snuffed. Yeah. But I think Brandon's medevac saved him, and it gave me more points for my draft pick.
Yeah. I think Kenzie's in trouble with the stuff that Jess said on her way out, and with the stuff that Banu said at that trip. I could see Kenzie going right before merge or right after. Bruno.
So, folks, it's not the most exciting thing to show you, but here's a big spreadsheet of how our draft is working. Here in the corner, we can see Snyder is at a solid 23 points. I am next with 31. Sam's got 37, and DB is taking us all for 3 points.
The person you least expect to win, in my opinion.
He was very knowledgeable about the cast coming in.
I mean, Q for that matter.
Stop it.
So we're just going over the points here. I might have a few points to update. Like I said, I was running a little late for this podcast, y'all, so I made the most out of it. So, Snyder, what are you hoping here? Are you ready to come back from behind and get it right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm hoping to do on Tuesday, too. More of that
There
later.
we go. Hey, Bill, so we invite our guests that are not a part of the draft list here to pick a MVP of the episode. Bill, who do you want your solid 2 points to go on for MVP?
My MVP, I think, is going to be a little surprising. I've been thinking about this and I've narrowed it down to 2 people. And those 2 people are Hunter and Ben. And I want to give my MVP to Ben.
Oh,
I think that Hunter did everything he's supposed to do as the athletic person on the team, as a clear tribal leader, everything that he did, I expected him to do. But when Ben came back and said, I don't know if I did well on the challenge, I won't know until we vote at tribal, I thought that was such a smart move because he's sort of lying, but not really. So he positioned himself perfectly to still be in on the strategy talk when they're going to a tribal, knowing full well he doesn't have a vote, but can still own up to the fact of not having a vote later by saying, oh, when I flipped it over, I didn't win the thing, so I didn't have a vote. Sorry. And I don't think people would think that he's lying because that's something that they've done on Survivor before. And I thought that lie that he told was genius and planted him a really great seed that he can water later. And that is not something that I think I'm not going to say Hunter wouldn't do that because I'm interested to see his game, but I think that was a really, really smart move. And that bumps him over Hunter for me as MVP tonight. Bruno.
And
I had that
Dustin,
listed
thank
too.
you for dropping the link for the broadcast on the 19th in the comments. I'm hosting the race, but my friends over at JTN Johto Network are doing the broadcast. They're amazing. But I'm hosting the race. I'm doing all the directing, all the heavy lifting.
It's online, so hopefully there's not anything you actually have to lift up. Maybe.
Who did I give points to? Who had Ben?
Sam.
Oh, let's go.
Yep.
There you go.
And who's MVP too?
MVP 2, like I said, goes out to the viewer comments, and we got the viewer comment
1
was Kenzie. So,
all right.
So Kenzie, congratulations, awarded for 2 points. And I have a little bit of intro here about why Laura chose Kenzie. Kenzie, because they were only focused on that tribe. She is playing well, but they are catching on. Tiffany, though, was a close second pick for Laura. So,
man.
Watching Tiffany, I hope she sticks around because I think we're going to learn something very, very interesting about her every single episode. I love watching her piece things together. Like you can see the gears going off in her head every confessional, and I love it. Yeah, she's just cool. I get cool fucking vibes from her. Like I want to know her.
Yeah, I was concerned at first. Like she was very I'm not cool about the outdoors. There was a bug on her for the first 20 seconds that I saw of her little intro.
It's her.
She at first looked like a potential to be a ripoff of Carolyn.
Yeah.
Because Carolyn was actually a good player. Carolyn could actually play the game. And I was hoping she'd win. I thought she had a chance to actually win the game.
Yeah.
We all did, Snyder. We all did.
Talk about the biggest letdown.
Yeah.
Man.
But Jam, he was just saying everything.
Carson tried to get her some votes, and she wasn't even taking the bait.
I mean, did you see what Carson did with his votes? He did them all in the NASA font.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he used the NASA font for all of his votes.
That's cute.
So here we have our lineup going into the next episode. I know
Yep.
Green trying to
There's
find
the vote out.
meteorite coming down, and Purple's probably going back to tribal again. And I don't know. Snyder, do you have any final thoughts about this season so far?
I wouldn't call it final thoughts, but my thoughts going past episode 3. I don't know if we'll see a swap, but I think we will see a chaotic post-merge. I'm just gonna
Bill,
leave it at that.
what are we looking forward to, or what's upcoming?
Obviously you're gonna have some of the bigger personalities going head to head. Obviously, see that immunity necklace in play. I think we won't see a big challenge beast, but I think we will see potentially we'll see some diversity in who's winning immunity, and then hopefully we have a winner that everyone can be happy for.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be honest, I'm really not looking forward to much. In
As
fact,
long as it's better than episode 2. Episode 2 was awful.
yeah.
Like, it was such a grind to watch, and I was like, oh my gosh, 2 hours of this. Sorry, Metallica and Taylor Swift fans. Bill Snyder, we talked about this earlier, but 20 minutes of
something
just
to say that's what you decide to air. Although they were smart by airing that, because now Swifties who don't watch Survivor are going to find that clip on TikTok and they're all going to tune in to Survivor. So I bet if you look,
shorten it to 2 minutes, not 20 minutes. Okay.
I bet if you look at the ratings from episode 2 to tonight's episode 3, I bet you they jump, and I bet it's because of that clip about Taylor Swift. However,
all right.
Oh my goodness.
However, I'm not really looking forward to much this season. I've actually kind of become content of how unanxious my Wednesdays are going to be, which is actually a nice break, because I feel like the past couple of seasons, every tribal I was like, oh, I don't want whoever's going to go home to go home. Like it was like, especially a couple of seasons ago. So it's been
like,
nice.
oh my goodness, a player I'm actually rooting for is going to go home.
So it's been nice to kind of just be like, but I am looking forward to more Taylor Swift references.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hopeful that we're going to get more of Shirtless Hunter. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen when Tevin and Tiffany sync up. I think that's going to be a fun thing to watch.
That could be. They're going to be great players.
Yeah.
And the player picked by multiple people in the draft, she's not going to win. Well, hopefully Banu does better, because then more points for me and I could win the draft.
Yeah. But I do think watching Banu's like spiderweb continue to untangle is going to be entertaining. And I'm actually really interested to see what's going to happen to Kenzie, because Kenzie very much
just mentioned a Swifty tally in the chat.
Huh?
He mentioned a Swifty tally.
Sam is tuning in. Sam was a part
Maybe we
of
should keep the Swifty tally.
No.
Oh my God, that's true. I mean, they make a lot of Taylor Swift references.
And Q said Endgame. He just chimed in.
Yep, there you go. Oh my God.
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
Forever. Yeah.
I think it is.
But I'm excited to see what happens to Kenzie, because she's either going to talk her way out of the bottom really, really well, or succumb to everyone just being like, yeah.
And she'll either talk her way out of the bottom or see her torch get snuffed.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see her in the entanglement of new people. Can she rope everyone in with her charisma like she did on Purple? Or is she going to fall victim to the hearsay of what Banu told the other two tribes? So
that's how it's going to go. I feel so bad for them.
She doesn't fall victim.
All right. Well, thanks again, Snyder, for co-hosting with me tonight. Snyder, a quick little plug for your racing show. Where is that at again? What's it called?
I wouldn't call it a racing show. It's a racing league, the HVRL Maverick Cup Series. We start our season this coming Tuesday, the 19th, with the 2024 Fun Coast 500. We've got a payout going to the winner and a trophy. It's going to be broadcasted by JTN. And you never know, we may have some ARCA drivers showing up. So it should be a good race. And if you're interested, check out Maverick Cup Series on Facebook. If you're interested in maybe being a part of the action, even if you're just a fan, tune in on JTN and reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time.
Dude, that was
Bill, can you top that for your outro here?
I don't know if I can top it, but thank you so much again for having me. This has been really fun about tonight's episode of Survivor. You can catch me at Big Brother Hogwarts on our Facebook group. It's a really great, awesome community. Season 3 is going to be live streamed exclusively through Facebook, although we are going to have other streaming options this season. So if you are interested in all things Big Brother and interested in all things Harry Potter, we are the perfect home for you. Season 3 goes off July 18th to the 22nd, and the audience will play a critical role in season 3. So follow us, join the group, get invested into the magical community that we've created, and we will see you as always in July for Harry Potter's birthday to do our next.
My birthday is July 21st. It goes right over my birthday, but I'm not going to be competing. I have other plans.
Counting our winner on your birthday. So
really,
the winner of season 3 and
HAPPEBIRTHDAE.
There you go.
And thank you all for watching tonight. Make sure you hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're watching. Super appreciate that. Like Snyder said, like Bill is a part of, like, this community is always growing for live games and people just following reality games in general and wanting to be a part of it or have your voice be heard. You want your game to be played and you're going to play it. So
yeah, I'd love to see this community expand into South America. We have some South American guys that race in my online racing league, and love to see the LRG community expand into Brazil and the rest of South America.
There we go. So outlook for 2024.
US, Canada, Australia, South America's next.
There you go.
All right. Till then, thanks for tuning in, and